Puss in Boots is a ComiColor cartoon from 1934. This is directed by Iwerks, Shamus, Culhane and Eugster, and it's pretty good. It's not my favourite ComiColor cartoon, and I don't know if I necessarily loved a lot of the characters. Well, actually, I loved the main characters, but I wasn't a huge fan of this ogre character. It starts off with Puss in Boots and these adorable little kittens, and then the kittens almost get into a bit of danger, and this bagpiper comes along and rescues the kittens. But now Puss in Boots owes the piper a favour, and it turns out that the piper wants to rescue the princess from this ogre character, and Puss in Boots and the kittens have to try and help. And I'll say no more than that. The main narrative doesn't kick in for about 2 minutes, and the whole thing is about 6 or 7 minutes, so I don't want to give away too much. But it's okay, the kittens are adorable. Puss in Boots is a likeable character. I really like the character of the piper. They're not the most well-developed or fleshed out characters, but what we see is quite likeable. But then we have the efforts to save the princess from this ogre character, and I neither loved the ogre nor cared for the environment. I just didn't think it was visually very engaging. It's not so much that it's badly animated, I just didn't find it to be a very interesting space. It wasn't very engaging to look at. The characters themselves, well, Puss in Boots, the other cats, and the piper, absolutely fine, but I didn't love the design of the ogre either. I wasn't really a huge fan of that character, so I didn't love a lot of it. I think it's an okay concept. Well, it's a good concept, but the execution's just a little bit bland. It's just not that fascinating. What happens just isn't very interesting, which is a bit of a shame because it is an interesting enough story, of course. The story of Puss in Boots is a very classic one. The character of Puss in Boots I liked. The kitten's adorable, the piper likeable enough with what we have, but I just didn't care very much for this one. But it isn't bad. It's not a bad cartoon. It's just not one that's left me feeling like I enjoyed it. It was absolutely fine. A little bit mundane in places, but okay. Compared to other ComiColors, it's quite weak. But if I'd never seen any other ComiColors, I didn't know how high the bar had been raised, then maybe I would have liked it a little bit better, but I know we can get better from ComiColor with more interesting characters and more interesting environments, and unfortunately that's just not the case here, but it's okay. I can't dislike it for any specific reason, by which I mean the narrative works well enough, the characters are animated well enough. Maybe it's personal taste that I didn't care for it as much as some of the others, but I also think that visually it's just not as engaging. Not badly animated, just not that entertaining either. All that being said, do I recommend it? Yes, if you're a fan of ComiColor, or if you particularly like cat-based cartoons, or Puss in Boots specifically. But if you're just looking for an engaging, entertaining cartoon with some really attractive animation, then there are probably better ones to go with than the ComiColor Puss in Boots.